Let's see what's here on the agenda. ChessKid. These kids just don't want to play 15-minute chess. And even 15 is too quick. I mean, a lot of students I work with, they're playing game 30. If they are still having trouble, I'll get them to join the Dan Heisman Learning Center and play 45-45. If they're making bad moves. Okay, let's see. How about Bound Machine versus Nutty Eyelash? Let's see what we have here. Probably another blue. Oh, wow. Only a little bit of time left. White is what I had. The queen for a rook. Black's king is exposed. White just cleared the back rank so he can swing his rook over. So White should be able to, has a good chance to get a mating attack here. Black's rooks are connected, but they're not in play. And Black is low on time and down material. So White will probably check on e5. Oh, checking on e5 look good because then you get to check on g1 with the rook. Well, it may still work out. You can do that. Okay, now check on e5. You just gave Black a free rook move. And Black is forcing White to find that check. He doesn't want it. He wants to put his queen out of play. Okay, but unfortunately, Black just doesn't have good moves here. I guess he could steal that e-pawn. He didn't want it. No, he's going to take it on his terms. Now, queen e5 check, king g6, rook g1 check, followed by queen takes g7 check, or it may not be check. No, it would be check. Be checkmate. White seem to have a mate now. Now he finds the way to get the rook over that file. So but I think we can attribute the material imbalances we're coming to find when we get into these games. I think we can attribute that to the time control. They're simply playing too fast, and it's easy to make inaccurate moves. Okay, Black's biggest problem is he's under 20 seconds. But they're playing with an increment. His time just went up after he moved. So that, at least Black shouldn't lose on time because he runs out of time. He still has to move reasonably quick. He's in danger of running out of time now. It's down to a matter of seconds. I think he's going to lose on time right here. I'm waiting for the pop-up. Yeah, white one. Okay, let's try to go back and see what happened here. So, slow and passive. Both sides are playing a... Okay, that's just a horrible move. He's just saying, you have a free pawn, okay? And you bring out a queen out too early. It's easy to cover g2. No, he didn't cover it. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, Now he doesn't want the rook with check. He wants the knight. Well, black is winning. Now he gets the rook with check. Well, let's see. Maybe that made sense. Take the rook with. Well, the rook isn't with check. I mean, the knight isn't with check. But here he drops that. Now, who won this game? And why did I end up winning this game? I mean, this is sad. Okay, you know, you're up a rook and a knight right out of the opening, and you lose. You know, when we saw this, he was missing his queen. So, does the queen get trapped? No, he has g4 as an exit square. He has g6 as an exit square. He wants to go back and take a draw. Now he managed to get it trapped. Now he can take on c2. Now he pins, okay? That allows c3. Now you're giving back a bishop. So little by little, white's going to try to get back in this game. Black is still better off. Not winning anything on that deal. So black should consider castling queenside here. What is he doing? He's pitching a knight. Oh no, if rook takes, he takes on c1. Okay, but, you know, I'll ask this question. I just want to remind you all. Does black really need that a pawn? And the answer is no, he doesn't. He'll win all the pawns he wants 20 moves from now. Just castle. Get the chore done. Castle. And now he loses the bishop. How did black lose his queen? He must have just put it. Although it doesn't seem to have a safe square to retreat to now. But then white's problem is attacking it. Okay, so I don't understand. What is b5 for? I mean, you know, what is black thinking about? Why would you need to play b4? You know, what better moves could we play? We don't want to castle here because we'll steal the pawn. But we could play knight e7 and castle kingside, right? We could do that. So now the queen is limited. It's got to go to b1, and now it's going to be trapped. No, we still have a way out. We have e4. We have d3. Oh, kaboom! And we got greedy, and there goes the queen. So you know, black has pitched. He pitched a piece on b4, and now he just threw his queen away. If black plays queen e4, well, now let's go queen d3. Bishop c2. You know, this queen is getting chased around a lot, but he didn't have to lose his queen. So it's a danger, you know, one of the reasons we don't bring our queen out early. Black does have something for the queen. He has a rook and, let's see, rook and 3 pawns. But if the pawns start falling, it's not enough. Now, the pawns aren't going to get, a rook and 2 pawn, or 2 passed pawns aren't going to force their way through against a queen and a rook. You need help. There's a knight sitting over there on g8, which is keeping a rook out of the game. It's time to bring that into play. There he does, but now queen d6 comes in. Kaboom. And this. And now here's where I believe white has force mate. Okay, check. Black has 2 legal moves. King g6 and king g5. Let's dispense of both of them. On king g6, we play rook g1 check. Black has 1 legal move. He must put his king on h6. In which case, queen from e5 takes g7, and that's mate. Because the white bishop controls h5 rather. So queen e5 check, king g5. We will still, well, no, we can, we'll still do this. Rook check. Now the king must move. We know that if king goes back to h6, that queen takes g7 as mate. So the only other place the king can go to is h4. Now white has a mate in 2. Queen g3 check. No, it's a mate in 1. Yeah, it's a mate in 1 because the king can't go back. So white had forced mate here. And, you know, he kind of fritters around a little bit, but then, you know, black loses on time here. So, what can I say? On to the next game. Okay, get the menu here in a moment. Okay, unique dub and speedy pebble. Please don't be playing a blitz game. No, they're playing a blitz game. Okay, well, what's happening? Black is a piece ahead. Black's king is a little bit exposed. Time-wise, black has about a minute advantage on the clock. So I think it's safe to assume black should win this. Doesn't mean he will, but he should. Now, bishop f6 makes some sense here. So, queen check, you can go back to, let's go up to c6, yeah. But, you know, no, oh wait, no, rook e6 turns the tables here. It pins the queen. Okay, so suddenly white's back in the game. But white's biggest problem is he's low on time, but they are playing with a 5-second increment. So now white has the advantage of a queen for a rook and a bishop, and black has an extra pawn. So, but those pawns are weak. Queen takes d5 is check. So you know, I like to initially king c6 first. I missed the rook e6. I saw it, and then he saw it. But now black just pitched his rook. Okay, let's see what happened here. Jack. Yeah, you know, I'm winning the queen. So black couldn't take the queen. Black couldn't take the rook. Black had to reinforce his queen. Because, you know, he just picks up a pawn, then he picks up the rook. You know, this is the advantage of a rook for a bishop. So, you know, black has tossed this one away, but white has to win it. So, you know, fortune changes in blitz chess. You know, you slow down, you get a winning game, you won't win it. I mean, you know, 32 years ago, you know, even though I had a master title, I would often, you know, I was playing some very tough people. I would get a winning game and I wouldn't calculate it out correctly. And what would I do? Lose the game. So I switched to correspondence chess because I knew I'd have more time to work it out. And if I got a winning game, I would win it because the clock wouldn't be sitting there ticking. I could, if I needed to take 20, 30 minutes to work out the win, I would. So, you know, but again, we're looking for ideas here. Now, the simple strategy here would be advance the white king up on the light squares and get a checkmate. Now here you let the king out, but not really. Let's just advance the white king in, but white wants to win more pawns. Now just king d2 with the idea king d3, c4, b5, a6, and mate on b7. Black is hard pressed to fight against that, but white's just collecting pawns. He's also getting some time back on his clock. And white's just going to push out a pawn and get another queen and figure out how to get a checkmate. That white won. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. So look at black's defense. Yes. Okay. So black has made 5 consecutive pawn moves and comes up with another one. Gosh, this is so tempting. Knight takes e5, d takes e5, queen h5 check. That is tempting. I guess the king has a little bit of flight squares, king d7. But somehow white bungled white dropped a piece. He was a piece down. Almost got his queen trapped. Discovered attack. Get the piece back. Now that's softening up the king position. As does that move. Pawn takes, and if pawn takes, bishop takes f3 with a fork. Ugh. What's wrong with my idea? Pawn takes. You're uncovering an attack on f3. I'm not sure where white pitches his piece yet, but he's been giving up pawns. White's a piece ahead. No, there's a knight on b8. Okay, kind of hard to see it there. So white's going to lose his bishop at some point. But where? Is he going to take this pawn and hang it? No. Oh, here. Here's where he grabbed a pawn. He could go to a3, but you know, the queen just takes back and white's a piece behind. So in this check, black needs to go back to d8 with his king, and he should be better off. Should be. Okay. Moving right along. Yeah, they're just not going to play 15-minute chess around this site. Let's see. Holland versus Holland. Harry P. Holland versus probably brother and sister. No, brother and brother. I don't know. Looks like white is winning. Just take. Oh, blunder! Now it's a draw. Oopsie. Okay, this stuff happens. Black has the winning chances, but he won't win. Unless white gets extremely careless and generous. Okay. The clock is ticking, but let's go over and look at this game. Let's see what happened. Okay, h6, useless move. Blocks the bishop. Useless move. Okay, watch your queen. Watch your queen. Aha. Now there's a fork. Okay, so the knight on a8 is doomed. I love when you can castle with a knight there. Although you can just, I can't take it. You know, you wouldn't think you could castle here, but you can. You know, the rook is under attack, but that's okay. So why is he giving up this knight? Well, you don't have to take game abandoned. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Let's see. Knight takes f2. You don't have to take. Play king g2. So white's at the moment I had a rook and a knight. And black is going to steal that knight. And he gets it. And I stole a bishop. I missed that. So here, you know, black can just play bishop takes bishop. And black is alive and kicking. Dropped a bishop there. He pitched his rook away. So this is in white's favor. The more pawns that come up, the more black can breathe. The more black can breathe. Now here's the critical blunder: just pawn takes, and you know, black, and white will have a queen. And even pawn push will force a queen. But he takes this pawn. This pawn's not going anywhere. Okay. Let's try this one here. Yeah, they're all playing blitz chess. Lower rated is doing better. The rook should beat the knight here. Will it? You know, the white pawns are all isolated. But I don't think black has enough to overcome You know, he can get rid of a couple of pawns, but his pawns are going. The king takes g5. King takes h4. So black needs to win both those pawns to draw. Somehow I don't think that's going to happen. All white has to make sure he does is not fall into a knight fork. Now the knight's out of play. So rook b3 would trap the knight. The knight can't get out. He missed it. It's about square control, guys. Night on the rim is dim, and that's one of the reasons why. Rook b3 will still strand the knight, but the black king is getting closer. Of course, those pawns looking dangerous. They always have been dangerous. So here the d4 pawn is keeping the black king out of e5. Now king, oh no, that's too early. So the king will stop it, and you have to tie your rook down to defend it. So rook b6 check is forced. And then black can start figuring out how can he get his knight back into play. And he may very well end up winning that f pawn. It's gone up too far. White should have activated his king. He's pushing his pawns too quickly. Although, it could work. If he plays d6, king takes f6. Black has suddenly got drawing chances here. King takes f6. You got to take it. d7 check, king e7. And white has a trick. Oh no, not that way. Now the pawn goes. Oh no! He just played d7, and the pawn queened. Okay, so it's not out of the woods yet. Black is going to draw this. See what did white do wrong? He didn't activate his king. So don't get your pawns too far up there, guys. Now black still has to prove the draw, but it looks like knight f6, followed by knight takes d7, and it's a draw. Amazing. You can't force a win in this position. You can win, but you can't force a win. Hello. Oops. Hello.
What's wrong with Wendy?
Nothing. She's just been sleeping.
Oh, okay. So she's eating a lot of her dry food, right?
Yeah.
And she's got water?
Yeah. It was starting to get a wee bit low, but I filled it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I
welcome.
hope they won't surely have a horrible session.
Sorry. Well, talk to you later.
It happens. I've had 7 out of 7 sessions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Take care. Okay. It's time to... White can play this out, but you can't win. So let's see, what move number was the last capture made on? It was made on move 54. So you got to go to 104 before you can claim a 50 mover. Let's see, are they playing with an increment? Try to figure that out. Maybe a 1 second increment. Maybe 2. White's starting to get low on time. White can lose, run out of time, but he'll still hold the draw. Let's check on D3. Check on C5. White's running out of time. Black's running out of time. Black can lose the game on time. White can't. Now the knight's pinned, so the king must move. Now there's the draw. You need to take black. What's the delay? Okay. So now the lower rated was winning this game, and he misplayed it. Okay, he shouldn't move the knight twice in the opening. That's kind of like a Nimzo-Indian defense. At some point, White won the exchange. Okay, now you can't castle because the knight will be lost. The g-pawn would be pinned. Knight trades queens. Now let's see, what does White have? White has a pawn ahead, and here Black is captured with the wrong pawn. So Black should have been punted out. Here he gives up the exchange to give White a ridiculously bad pawn structure. I don't think that's wise, though. You're going to get one pawn, but that's all you're going to get. White has an extra rook. So, Black doesn't have any pawn compensation for the exchange. And I force the rook off. Now he's bungled his a-pawn, but I guess he can win the a-pawn back on the other side. Maybe not. So White's making it tough on himself. But White's going to end up with those two passed pawns. He's going to get rid of all Black's pawns. Not yet anyway, but he will. And here comes the rook. Knight go behind winning that pawn. And the king just goes after. We saw this. So the first winning move here. Okay, notice the knight's on the edge. So when a knight's on the side of the board, he has 2, 3, or 4 moves. No more than 4. 2 if he's at the corner, 3 if he's next to the corner, and 4 anywhere else. So rook to b3 takes away 3 of those 4 moves. And the king is taking the other one away. So I didn't analyze it out, but But now white doesn't have a direct approach after the knight, but let's see what he does have. Okay, rook b3. So black is stuck moving his king. Okay, that's all he has to do. This is very easy to analyze, because if the knight moves, it's taken. And if black keeps his king back on that side of the board, white will just play king g2, king f1, king e2, and take the knight. Therefore, black must send his king forward. It's going to take him 3 moves to take this pawn. Okay, rook b3, king d6, king g2, king d5. King f1, king takes d4. King e2. Now the knight is trapped. And we have a white rook on b3. We have a white king on e2. We have a black king on d4. So maybe black is fortunate here. Maybe he can play king c4. Okay, now that hits the rook. If the rook runs to a3, the knight could escape by way of b2. If he runs, he can't run to d3. Well, he can. The king's on e2. He can run to d3, but the knight escapes by c4. So black did have a defense, but we had to analyze it out. Now I start with understanding the concept of square control. Take the square away from the knight, rook b3. Then we work out the details. And as you see, it's relatively easy to analyze. Now, could white do anything different? Yeah, he could do something different. Let's try this. Rook b3. King d6. Now we could try king f4, but king d5, we can't bring the king back, okay? So rook b3, king d6, king g2, king d5, king f1, king takes d4. King e2, king c4. White's still winning. But, okay, so rook b3 didn't work, but we had to look. Now this is fine, and this is fine. But here, white must play king f4. Now the king is helping out. Okay. Black cannot attack the f-pawn with his king. Meanwhile, white is trying to play king g5 with the idea of helping that pawn go up the board, and he always has a rook to back things up. So king f4 is the key move. And, black is going to need a miracle to draw this. If he somehow captures the pawn on d4 with his knight, white will just take with his rook, and when black retakes the rook, the pawn runs. So king f4 wins. We can always push that pawn later. There's no rush. Now he has to play rook b6 check to hold on to it. Now, again, this king needs to come up and help out. Instead, he runs this pawn. Now, black is forced to bring his knight into play. White is forcing black to draw this game. I had 45 years ago, a friend of mine got in an endgame. He had, I think he had a king and a knight. The other guy didn't have a knight, but they had a bunch of pawns. And essentially, white can send his king to the queen side or the king side. Whichever way white goes, black with his king, black sends his king the other way. So he picked a side, he went that way, and black moved his king the other way. And white went over to collect some pawns with his king, and black went over to collect some pawns with his king, and surprise, surprise, it turned out black won. Black achieved a winning position. And then we analyzed it afterwards. It's what happens if you send your king the other way? And we came to the conclusion that my friend would have won. So like what my friend said, I forced my opponent to beat me. Here, White's forcing his opponent to draw. You know, this is a terrible move. Now this pawn falls on b6. He didn't want it yet. But here, White, this is a blunder. White could play d7. If White plays d7, see, that's a theme. You know, imagine the rook and the knight off the board and White to play. Pushing the pawn to d7 forces a queen because the black king can't approach the pawn on the d file. So d7, you have to cough up your rook, but that's okay. You've got a new queen, and you're keeping your pawn on f6, so it's going to queen as well. Well, probably got a queen. Okay, so Black needed to take this pawn. Now, on d7 check. Oh, maybe. Oh, let's see. Watch this. d7 check. King e7. Now, Black is ready to bring his king to d8. Not so fast. White has a tricky move up his sleeve. Rook d6. And if Black plays king takes d6, the pawn queens. But Black has a resource. Knight check on f5. And the knight will take the rook. And then the last pawn is lost. So this was a blunder, and this was a blunder. And you know, see, the king, the white king isn't helping the pawn. I mean, your king is so valuable in the ending. It's like a whole extra chess piece, because you just have to guard against checks. And there are squares that you'd like to move to, but you can't because of checks, right? But your king is a very, very strong piece. So, you know, here the pawn is a goner. White's tied down to defending it, and his king can't support it. Now he tries to get the king up to help, but it's too late. And there goes the pawn. So compare and contrast with my idea here. You know, my idea says king f4. And the idea is to play king g5. And, you know, Black can try to maneuver his knight back in the game to help out, but eventually that black king has to step back, then the d-pawn comes into play as well. So, in-game knowledge like that will help you win blitz games. Okay? So, you know, the grandmasters who play blitz chess, and they play a lot of it online, they are there with all their experience, and if they reach, you know how their games are going to go. Sometimes they get a great game in the middle game and win there, but sometimes they have to go down to an ending. It happens a lot, but then they have the knowledge already. So, you know, if you don't have the knowledge, you study endgames. Now you can spend $40-50 on a good endgame book and spend a lot of time, or you know, you can just get lots of playing experience. But you have to see, you know, you have to look here and see why did Black draw this game? As I said, White forced him to draw. White sent his pawns out too quick. They need help, the king. Okay, let's go to the lobby. I have about an hour left on the broadcast. I'm going to take another break shortly. Let's see if I can find a... Let's see if I can find a good position here to look at. Okay. How about narrow Mustang versus striding bounce? Everyone seems to be playing blitz chess today, unfortunately. But here we've got about 8 minutes on the clock, plus maybe an increment. Let's see. Black has managed to lose a piece, though. but white doesn't have his development complete. Go ahead and watch this, see what you would do, and I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. I'm back. Let's see. White won. A resignation. And second.